and welcome to Dress for Health Module 1 with the topic of our diets and nutrition. Diet simply means a way of life. Let's cut through the confusion in the nutrition world, discover God's amazing design and framework, and even start to customize your own nutrition plan. Module 1 answers these core discoveries. What is holistic nutrition from a Christian faith-based perspective? If we believe the Bible is true, how does that impact how we interpret nutrition? Why is there so much nutrition confusion? How does history confirm science? How has our food system changed over the last 100 years? Then we get some practical tips in there with grocery shopping and nutrient density, and how to build our own nutritional personalized plan with the whole goal in mind of food freedom, not letting food control us. So let's get started. What is the right way to eat? If you were to Google food pyramids, you'd have over millions of hits on what are recommended for humans to eat. If you take a look at these really quickly, you discover that they're all so different, with the main food groups ranging from vegetables and being raw and vegan to lots of animal protein foods as the base. Which one's correct? How do we know? In our modern world, we've definitely made food way more complicated than it needs to be. So let's see if we can simplify. Bring it back to the basic design that God intended for food. But first, let's look at some key reasons why there's nutritional confusion in the first place. These 5 B's capture really what I think are the 5 main reasons in our modern world we have so much nutrition conflicting information. Nutritional science and research around nutrition is really a very new science. It really started as a larger, organized science of discovery not until the 20th century, really the early 20th century. And a result of that nutritional science research has come out of that, these 5 B's. The first one is bad versus good. We've resorted to labeling certain foods over these about 100 years of nutrition research as either bad or good, kind of all or nothing. So a quick example are eggs. For a while, eggs are bad, high cholesterol, right? Versus good. Without really qualifying the type of egg, what the chickens were fed, it is simply labeled in one black or white category. Another quick example are omega-6 fatty acids. They've been labeled bad. Over history, they said they're inflammatory. We don't need a lot of omega-6 fatty acids. Well, there's always more to the story. Those aren't bad fatty acids. We need them. But they're not in balance with omega-3s. And we were saying omega-3 fatty acids were good. That's not entirely true. We need both. So labeling something as bad or good puts it in a black and white category and creates a lot of confusion when really there's a lot more to the story. And for the omegas, it's a matter of balancing the omega-6 and the omega-3 ratio, not a bad versus good. The second B is biased science. I don't put a lot of stock in science that's paid for by someone that profits from the results. There's a lot of cherry picking that can go on. They pick and choose what pieces of a study they want to include in the summary reports. There's a lot of non-objective science research out there. There's a lot of really good quality, very non-agenda driven science and nutrition out there as well. So knowing that you're looking at science that's not biased, that helps to clarify nutritional truth. But biased science definitely can add to the confusion. Breakthroughs, the latest and greatest weight loss strategy, the greatest superfood ever known to man, on the top of the Himalayan mountains. These breakthroughs can create nutrition confusion and support a hype and a theory that there's one food that can solve all of our issues. If you've lived long enough like I have, you realize that those breakthroughs come and go. And while people may experience some positive benefits from eating a certain superfood, so-called superfood, in the end it adds to the nutritional confusion. The fourth B, belief systems, is an interesting one. Everyone believes something. Food has such a historical tie to religious practices and belief systems. As a Christian, a biblical worldview, how does that impact our view of nutrition? Christians today have often separated their belief system from food. What's the link, and how do belief systems impact nutrition confusion? Our worldview dictates whether we outline it specifically and define it or not. It dictates where we come from. How did our world get here? What are we supposed to be eating? How are humans able to sustain energy and grow and build health through food? All of that is actually influenced by our belief system. Many religious practices center around food. The Bible from Genesis to Revelation highlights nutritional truth in a miraculous way that changes. Why? Because belief system has a very direct influence on how we fuel our bodies. And the hundreds of different belief systems that humans have accepted over time has really contributed to some of this modern day nutrition confusion. What we'll see in the history part of the diet lesson here is that there are different people groups all over the globe that ate a whole variety of different diets. So what works for one group, such as like the Eskimos in a very cold climate, those types of foods are not eaten by the tropical groups in the southern tip of Africa. Yet both groups are super healthy, eating the foods of their native local area. So the bioindividuality has a genetic component, and it also has a health profile component. Where are we at in our own metabolic health can determine what foods work best for us. What kind of diet do we need to be eating at this season of life in our current health profile based on our own genetics and based on our own bioindividuality. So what works for one doesn't work for another has definitely aided, probably maybe in the most, as we've gone through this nutritional research modern era. It's definitely added to the nutritional confusion. Carrying through the omega-3 analogy of good versus bad all the way to bioindividuality, a quick example is, let's say someone got a lot of good benefit from taking flaxseed or chia seeds. That's an omega-3 fatty acid food source that comes to us in the form of ALA. The omega fatty acid is called ALA. Plants make an omega-3 fatty acid or have omega-3 fatty acids in them but need conversion. The omega-3 ALA fatty acid needs to be converted in the body to the very active, usable form of what we call EPA and DHA. So ALA, omega-3 fatty acids, someone would say, hey, I'm taking flaxseed. This is a great way for me to clear up my skin. I feel more energy. I've lost some weight. These are great benefits for me. You should try it. So the next person says, okay, I'm going to try this omega-3. I'm going to try flaxseed, adding it to smoothies or whatever. I'm going to get the same benefit. And that is not always true, because that individual may not have the same capacity metabolically to convert the plant-based omega-3 ALA to the active form of EPA and DHA. So everybody's different, and that bioindividuality has definitely added to the nutritional confusion. So what do we do? What's the answer? If there's a lot of nutrition confusion out there, how do we sort through it? What is our source of truth?